Great. Hello, welcome everybody. We're here for our third session of the stopwatches, and we're getting ready to start. If you have any questions, please hold them till the end, and I will check the chat and Pathable, and also take questions from the audience here. So our first presenter can go ahead and share their screen.
Hello, and thank you for attending this stopwatch session. I'm going to be telling you about a new development we have at Counter. Counter Release 5 reports really take usage statistics to a new level. The Counter Release 5 reports provide a wealth of data, and librarians and library consortia are using this data to inform decision making. Pivot tables in Excel allow librarians to quickly manipulate the reports to drill down on the information they need for analysis to inform collection development and cancellation. And library consortia are using the reports to evaluate their big deals and to inform their negotiations. But how to get all that data can be a problem. Collecting tabular reports is time-consuming and not a good use of busy consortium manager or librarians' time. Therefore, compliant publishers and vendors must provide reports in two formats, tabular and counter-sushi. Counter-sushi is the protocol for automated harvesting of counter reports. And counter-sushi means that rather than spending time collecting reports, consortium managers and librarians can focus on analysing the usage data. But I hear you say, how do I know which publishers and vendors are compliant, and where do I get the details for sushi? This is where we hope that our new Counter registry of compliant platforms is really going to be of great help to you. I've got some screen grabs here, and I'm going to just quickly go through them so that you can see how it works. You arrive at the registry and you can do a search. Here I've done a search on De Gruyter. You can search on the platform name, you can search on the publisher name, or a commonly used abbreviation of the name. And here I am on the page for De Gruyter, and you can see we have the platform name, the publisher's name, and contact details for queries about the platform and about the counter usage reports. Scrolling down, you'll get the all-important information. Which counter reports does the publisher or vendor provide? The contact details if you have sushi queries, the sushi information, and also the last counter audit date. And we expect all content providers to have an annual audit. Scrolling down a little further, we have the notification of issues and data updates, a really important new feature. This is where publishers and vendors can post any issues so that they're in that one place where librarians can find them. Librarians don't have to remember to keep hold of an email and look it up if they notice any anomalies in their usage reports. So we're really working to make the new counter registry the place to go for information about counter compliance, for information about sushi. But we need to make sure we don't have ego, garbage in and garbage out. And that's where we're really helping that the whole counter community can help to make sure the registry is as accurate and as useful as possible. So how can you help us? Well, librarians, for you, let us know if you find any omissions and inaccuracies. And please also ask your vendors to check their information is up to date on the registry and to post any notifications and updates. Publishers and vendors, I guess you can guess what I'm going to say. Please check your entry and please let us know if you want any updates made. That will really be of service to your library and Library Consortium customers. So thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I put the link of the registry on this slide, but you can also just go to the counter website and you can link through to the registry from there. So thank you for listening and take care, everybody. Bye.
We are all familiar with the issues associated with traditional cost per use. It treats all uses as the same and only offers a snapshot of the coverage. We keep using it, however, because at the end of the day, we do not have
Mandy,
time.
we're not seeing your video. We love technology. Mandy, you're muted. So
Okay, we did practice this, but it never goes the same way, does it? Let me try this one more time.
We were able to hear your audio, so you did have your screen going. It just we couldn't see the video.
Well, thank you. Okay.
So we're just seeing a blank screen that says Mandi Smith, University of Arkansas, has started screen sharing. Double-click to enter full screen mode.
Can you see it now?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let me try one more time.
there, well, we see you.
Everyone, we just did this 10 minutes ago. It worked fine.
Yes, it did. Of course.
And you can't, can you, okay. All right. Joe, do you want to go where I try to figure out what's happening?
Yep, I'll load mine up here in just a second.
Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize.
Thanks, Joe. See if Joe's goes. Okay.
Hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Joe Marciniak and I'm the Electronic Resources Librarian for Princeton University. My session is about how you can use citation information to inform collection development decisions. I wanted to answer the question, does our library provide electronic access to the journals that are highly cited in publications by our researchers? So basically, how well are we serving our patrons' research and publishing needs? This is a common question for librarians, and it usually leads to emails and surveys being sent to researchers to learn more about their publications and preferred resources. My library has about 50 subject specialists who work with the academic departments to identify needed resources, but I was looking for a way to identify resources on my own without having to bother researchers or subject specialists. I thought it would be interesting to look at citations in journal articles published by our researchers and then check to see if the library provided electronic access to the journals that were being cited the most. I would either learn that we were already doing a good job of providing access to highly cited journals, or I would identify titles for acquisition, which would allow me to make a meaningful contribution to our collection development. Our library had recently acquired access to Clarivate's product, Insights, Benchmarking, and Analytics, which uses Web of Science data to create various analyses for institutions. Web of Science is a multidisciplinary index to journal literature in the sciences, social sciences, and arts and humanities. Their platform contains data from almost 1.9 billion cited references from over 171 million records. I used the author affiliation metric in Insights to find publications with relevant author affiliations, and I looked at 5 years worth of data from 2015 to 2019. Insights has 2 institution metrics for my university, Princeton University and Princeton Plasma Physics Lab. I included both of these affiliations in the data that I pulled. To gather data about our library's holdings, I then pulled reports from both SFX and ALMA to compare to the Insights data. Insights delivered 18,729 documents cited by our researchers in their publications, and these results contained journals, conference proceedings, and ebook content. SFX and ALMA delivered 149,102 journal titles with holdings information. I focused on the top 500 journals identified by Insights as being cited the most by our researchers. I then compared the Insights data to the SFX and ALMA data based on the ISSNs of the top 500 journals. I learned that ISSNs can be messy, especially for publications that have been around for a long time. ISSNs can change, or more than one ISSN can be affiliated with a journal based on format, such as print versus electronic or even open access. This is a screenshot of the top 25 most cited journals by our researchers. The third column tells you the number of documents that have been cited from the corresponding publication in the first column. So, for example, our researchers' publications cited 10,392 documents in the journal Astrophysical Journal from 2015 to 2019. The number seems so high that I immediately contacted our solutions consultant at Clarivate because I was sure I had done something wrong. They confirmed, however, that this is correct, making it the most highly cited journal by our researchers, and Insights allows you to drill down to the article level to check the citation information. The last two columns are useful because they tell you the percent of open access documents within these publications, and it was interesting to see that the fourth ranked journal is 100% open access. So, looking at the top 500 journals cited by our researchers, I found that our library was not providing electronic access to only 2 of them. The first missing journal was Environmental Modeling and Software and ranked at 457 out of 500 with 96 publications citing content in this journal from 2015 to 2019. The second missing journal was the International Journal of Pharmaceutics and ranked at 491 out of 500 with 88 publications citing this journal from 2015 to 2019. A quick note here about manually researching journals and ISSNs. I found an affiliated open access version of the International Journal of Pharmaceutics, which we did provide access to via our catalog, so make sure you also manually research the titles before drawing any conclusions. My next step was to review ILL requests, so I looked at the last 4 years to determine if content from these journals was in demand by our researchers. I learned that there had been 33 article requests from 17 distinct patrons for content from the journal Environmental Modeling and Software. And there had been 180 article requests from 41 distinct patrons from the journal International Journal of Pharmaceutics. So going back to my original question, I was able to conclude that our library is doing a good job of providing electronic access to the journals most cited by our researchers, 498 out of the top 500. Of the 2 journal titles that we did not provide access to, one turned out to have an open access version, which is in our catalog, and the other one is now a candidate for acquisition. This was kind of a long way to go to end up with just 2 journal titles, and I confess that I was hoping to find highly cited journals that we were not providing access to so that I could make a meaningful contribution to collection development, but at least now I also have some data that shows how useful our current collection is. Now, no citation index is perfect, and none can account for all of the publications and articles in the world, but it's a great place to start a discussion about your collection development needs, or to follow up on any hunches that you have about which publications your researchers are using. Subscriptions to citation indexes can be expensive, and if it is not in the budget, you might be able to fund a one-time custom data set purchase just for a collection development project like this. Additionally, many libraries and institutions keep data on faculty publications, so some of this work could be done manually if someone has the time, or at least some student workers to pitch in. Thank you very much for attending my session, and please feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thanks, everyone, and we'll try Mandi again now.
We are going to try this again. I moved it to the same screen that Zoom's on. I'm hoping this will work. Let me know if you can't see it. Hold on. Can you see it?
No, we're just seeing the same screen that says that you've started screen sharing. It says double click to enter full screen mode.
Okay. Okay, let me try one last thing. Can you see it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then we're going to try a workaround. Are you ready to load out? Sorry about all of this.
You want to be Harold, go ahead and do his and then come back to you?
Yes, please. I'll make sure I'll email it to you since I'm having issues with my laptop. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Are you able to do mine, Beth?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I downloaded it to my computer, so we're just going to switch the display real quick. There we go. We're trying to make it smooth, but it's not. Oh. I thought I did. Oh, there.
Academic ebook platforms. The comparisons may suggest or confirm performance variations between same publisher content providers. The usage data employed is all vendor supplied and spans Counter 4, Counter 5, and non-counter origins as available. Any subsequent collection or compilation errors trace back to me alone. My curiosity with platform usage differentials dates from 2015. When a fourth books DDA arrival at UCSD shattered the purchase triggering norms established by our 3 legacy DRM programs. The 38,000 aggregator titles were largely all cataloged, and their triggered purchases proceeded along this modest baseline. Our new JSON DDA arrived in early April, carried similar trigger settings, and had no cataloging presence during that entire month. The 593 JSTOR books triggered during the short time frame shown here pointed to JSTOR.org and link-bearing internet search sites as innate powerhouse drivers of JSTOR books chapter hits and eventually purchases. With that history in mind, here are the new study pairs. Overriding consortium deals and a local COVID-era adaptation brought somewhat heightened levels of electronic asset duplication to our campus in 2020 and 2021, and thus opportunities for further study. The consortium level overlap involving UC Press titles began with a comprehensive buy of past and present publisher content on the DeGruyter platform. More on that momentarily. The duplications involving Cambridge, Michigan, MIT, and John Wiley titles arose from our 16-month subscription to ProQuest Academic Complete. AC was a massive and very helpful pandemic moment response to library closure and the campus pivot to remote instruction. The sixth study opportunity arose in 2020 when Duke University Press books were loaded on JSTOR and thus became available through Consortium DDA. These items duplicated our long-term local buys on the eDuke platform itself. Might any of these matchups reveal contrasting usage patterns? First, please examine this background on the UC Press transition and its title movements. The resulting usage arcs show DeGruyter totals, orange, rising over time, which corresponds with ongoing growth in its total pool of released titles. JSTOR tallies, blue, dropped over time as unpurchased titles were deactivated and the residual 197 keepers stabilized to present a familiar seasonal ebb and flow. Limiting the DeGruyter data to DDA matching 2017 to 2020 copyright set shows in blue and gray columns some head-to-head instances during fall quarter 2020 of usage ascendancy by the rump JSTOR pool. Our next duos involve our academic complete run. It's nearly 190,000 titles in play for us, registered a substantial usage imprint. These publishers with AC presence were selected for study owing to their larger pool numbers and connections to existing local or consortium publisher direct programs. In the absence of surviving counter data for our AC run, the substitute benchmark here counts titles used. The MIT and Wiley investigations carry the most complete pool-to-pool structures for today's purposes. Here is a coterminous look at AC and Cambridge Core. Same for MIT Press Direct. Note the pool usage percentages. Here are almost fully matched time frames for AC and Michigan on Fulcrum. And back to coterminous for Wiley Online Library. Again, note the pool usage percentages. UCSD began purchasing eDuke book collections in 2008 and holds a large installed base on their direct platform. That legacy now provides a good counter-5 comparison opportunity. Here's the eDuke profile, and here's the Duke on JSTOR profile. The two usage portraits seem to show rather similar results. However, the JSTOR activity all dates from May 2020 and renders a total item request bar chart somewhat akin to the 2015 DDA experience. In this brief approach to matters of platforms, there is some evidence that hosting sites can and do matter as usage influencers. Certainly, the new JSTOR examples appear to confirm its vaunted discovery and usage reputation, still being a popular go-to research destination up and down the academy. The mixed bag academic complete section of 4 publishers is sort of a soft and inconclusive center, lacking matched counter integrity and bracketed by more solid comparisons involving UC Press and Duke. And all session attendees and viewers, I welcome your questions and comments. Thank you.